Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're going to get straight into it. We're going to be using the DeadonPlastix swim bait jerkbait blend. What we want to do for this video today is kind of present the different color flakes that you use mixed with your colorant, and on the transparency of that colorant could actually change the color of what you see from what you actually put into the bait. So for example, we have the grape purple from LureWorks, we have the Cali green, and we're going to be using the green pumpkin 109. And so what we're going to do is show you that when you add some of the flakes, sometimes it gives this crazy illusion, almost like a different color of what you put in there. So I think it would be a really good tutorial, or even just a little tip to show you for any of you new bait makers out there, or even the seasonal guys that are kind of curious on what happens when you put different colors of flakes mixed with your plastisol. So keep that in mind when you mix in your colors, what you might get or what you want to try to achieve out of that. So for example, here we're going to be using the medium-sized grape from LureWorks. This is just a simple hex one. Really nice purple. I use this a lot, especially in this colorant that we mix it with. Kelly green is a low-key one of my favorite ones as well. It's not a dark green like your emerald style, but a little bit lighter. And this is where the green usually stays with the green pumpkin. However, your purple grape will kind of change it up. So pretty common color you see in the bait making world, but this time I like to add in just a small amount of black in there. So we'll dump in 1/8 of a teaspoon of the size small black flake, and we'll give it a quick stir. And as we're stirring, you're going to see that purple, that grape color, right? It's going to start giving you almost like an off peach, an orange, bronze, copper looking color as it mixes with the 109. So with the LureWorks 109 colorant, I did about 12 drops. If you want to have a little bit more less see-through or less transparency on it, then go about 20 drops and you should be good. But that also depends on your mold that you're using. If you're using like a stick bait, or if you're doing like let's say like a swim bait, like a paddle tail, anything with like a thinner body dimmer, it's still going to be a little bit more see-through. But this one ultimately came out good. I just kind of want to show you what those color of the changes are, and then we have a second dual laminate that we'll do after this. So let's crack this open and see what it looks like. So there you can see it's a light transparent 109. Again, about 12 drops for about a 5-inch worm. You can still see through it. So again, 20 drops, you'll be good. But if you look at that runner in the sprue area, you can see that purple turned almost like a peach orangish color. So that's something to take into consideration when you make your baits. Like if you're adding color or you're trying to achieve a color, sometimes it's not necessary to add that orange or that peach, because maybe that purple flake might change with the mix of the 109 LureWorks. So that's something to keep in mind with your colors. And this color I've seen in the shops before on other lures, so I thought it would be a good example just to share with on how to make it or replicate it. Very popular, low-key, my favorite. So for this next one, we're going to do my take of an electric shad, one of my favorite colors to also make as well. This bottle here, as you can see, is giving me a little bit of trouble, so I did about 8 to 10 drops of brown. You can also maybe want to darken it up, add some more black to this, or even just add a little bit more brown as it's a bit transparent. I didn't want to go too crazy with it, just as I want the sparkle to show that you'll see later. And this also gives another preview of sometimes the color change or the mixtures of your colorant pigment with your flakes could also make it a little bit different. So as you can see, we got the LureWorks violet sparkle purple. This is a size small. Now it's a violet color, so here it looks to me like a blue, but you can still see that violet in there as well. So when we mix it up, this gives you that good electric shad that you're trying to go for, a very popular color that you see in the stores all the time. And then the molds we'll be running is the same one we just did before, which was like a 5-inch worm. And then we're going to also be running this on an angling AI jerkbait. So we'll see how this comes out, but there's the nice electric shad style that you get from the brown. And per 1 cup, I added about 3/8 of a teaspoon just to get this enough. You can always go more if you want to add more flake. It's up to you. So here we'll start with our pearl white from LureWorks. I do a small 1/16 maybe of a teaspoon. I only have an 1/8 of an ounce, so I just do a little portion of that. Add that in there, and you can see that it'll give it a nice little transparent look. But I was gonna try to take away that transparency a little bit and add in some ultra white from LureWorks. I always like using this stuff, and I maybe went a little bit too overboard with about 4 to 6 drops on this one. However, I think they still came out pretty well. Shooting this one at about 320 was my temperature. I also shot it very cold, so I did not warm up the molds, but we're still here in summer over in California, so it's kind of warm anyways. No need to. You can see that there was a nice good laminate there. I did not purge, so we'll see later on these worms that one of them kind of bleeds over a little bit more than it needs to, and then you can see that the white does a little bit of a takeover on some of the brown where it brings it out a little bit lighter. So keep that in mind. If you go transparent color, your brown might be a little bit darker. But as we can see, here's the blending block. You can see the nice violet that shows up through there on the brown. Again, to me, this looks like a blue, and at some like areas, it almost looks like a green. So here's the opening. I did not purge, so that's why you can see that some of it bleeds over into the brown. It's a little bit lighter style that you would normally see from an electric shad, but that pearl white belly comes in very nice. Again, you don't need to use too much pearl white, and that blue, violet, purple comes through on these worms. So very excited to try these out and see how they work. And there's my take on the electric shad. You can see the tails, nice good even laminate. Again, shooting it somewhat cold, but didn't have to warm up anything. Let me know what you would do different. Would you go a little bit lighter belly? Would you go darker on the top? As we flick through this, you can see that brown turns a bluish green teal color looking. So it just depends on what you're using from your colorant that can really change the style. So here's that 3-inch jerkbait from Angling AI as well. This one came out very, very nice. Really happy to see how this works. Gives you a nice little shad profile. And then, wow, that blue violet sparkle just really pops. Again, nice even laminate. So these ones come out a lot nicer just because we did most of that purging on the first worm mold. So these come out very even on your laminates. If, of course, you want bleed over, shoot a little bit hotter and your colors will bleed over a little bit more. There's a nice dark sides, but you can see the top looks a little bit lighter, and that's due to your pearl white. But there you go. That's my take on an electric shad. Of course, you want a clearer belly, just don't add the white, go a little bit less powder, and you'll have a clear belly that you're normally seeing. Good little arsenal here. Let me know on the next video what you guys want to see. If there's anything you want me to test out, try, let's put some ideas together, and I can do this for you guys. So thank you again for watching and tuning in. Sorry it took a while. I had some lighting issues, so my brother came over, helped me put some lighting in. So shout out to my older brother for helping me with the lighting. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Go catch some giant fish this weekend.